So hi everyone. So this discussion we are going to help you to solve your project issues. So in this discussion, I will talk about the troubleshooting and the solution there. So if you have any questions about this part, so just post on the chat. So I'm going to help you to solve it. So we post an announcement on the PR that we are going to extend the deadline for the project A. So the project A will be due on this Friday, so at the midnight. You still have several days to finish your project. So if you have any questions, just post it to us, and we can help you to finish it. We can help you to fix it. So if you haven't started your project, so you should use this project image to start the project A. So if you have any questions about the MongoDB database part, so you have to check your Mongo configuration file. So at the beginning of the project, you have to modify the mongo.configuration file to disable the raw access control. So if you have any questions, you can go to the getting started with Jetstream tutorial. This tutorial is posted on the Canvas file and the project tutorial materials. You can go to the page 13 and 15 and find the way to disable this raw access control. So if you have an issue to build the project code, so you have to check your build.property files. So you have to add proper values for the project.base.director and java.home, these two lines. So if you have any questions, you can go to our description. You can find a sample here, not sample, the correct answer there. So just follow it. Here, you just follow these two lines and get the correct information for these two lines. So when you finish reformatting users 10,000.txt file into users 10,000 TSV file, so please add a headline to the users 10,000 TSV file. So make sure the fields are separated by tab, and after you add the headline into the TSV file, you have to recheck the typo and tabs in the headline. Make sure there's only one tab between different columns in your TSV file. When you finish the adding headline into the TSV file, you should try to do the step 2 to import the 10,000 records into MongoDB database. So when you finish adding these 10,000 records into MongoDB, you have to check how many data insert into your collection. So you have to go to your MongoShare, go to your profile collection, and count how many documents have been inserted into your profile collection. If there are exactly 10,000, it means you do the correct thing. If you get other different number like 10,001 or 10,002, it means you have some mistake on your step 2 on your TSV file. You have to go back to your TSV file, go back to your steps 2 and fix it. Then we'll insert these 10,000 documents into a new empty collection. So make sure you got that. So next one. So if you type command, this query and update command on your terminal, so it will take about 15 minutes to finish a run. And when the run is finished, a new line, this kind of line, will appear on the terminal. It means you have finished this time run. So when you finish running the query and update at one time, you could use this tail command to check the running result. So the result will show some very important information about your list time running. So first, there are several lines at the bottom of the file. So the first line will show you a number of records found. So it means this number of records is needed to update it. And the second line will show you a number of records processed. It means the code is trying to update this number of records in your MongoDB database. and the last line will show a number of records updated. So it means this number, this number of records has been updated successfully. So if you got these 3 lines, it means this result is run successfully. So sometimes students say that log file is empty, or the processed number. So the processed number is not close to 2,500 or not close to almost 3,000. So you have to run the query command again until you get a satisfied result. Like you get this number should be the 2,500 or almost 3,000. So make sure you got that data there. Just rerun the command again to make sure you get the 25 data updated on the MongoDB. So when you finish first run, you have to, when you just type the query and update command one time, at the first time, you have to go to your MongoDB to check the updated information. Because if you make some error on your headline or make some error on your TSV file, the project cannot recognize the dataset. It will update the wrong information into your collection. So if there's some error on your dataset, the project will update the same geolocation to all your documents. So when you finish run the command, you have to go to your MongoDB to query to query amount of data and to check the geolocation. If you find all of them has the same geolocation, it means there's some error about your dataset. So you have to go back to your TSV file, go back to your step 2 to find what mistake is there. And you have to fix it and redo the step 2, step 3 part. So here, there's some solution hint about this project. So many students have questions about how to extract these 50 users with their geolocation into a CSV file. So here I give you a sample command. So this command can help you to extract about 50 users. See, this limit is 50, so it will help you to extract the 50 users with their geolocation, with their formatted data address, and save this information into a TST CSV file. So make sure, this 50 users profile with their geolocation will be saved to a CSV file. Also, I just post a AWK command on Piazza to help students to reformat the CSV file into a tab separate value form and add a quotation on the username, and make sure you can just use this reformat result and paste them into a HTML file. So here, let's go to our AWK. So I posted this AWK into the Piazza. If you go to the post list, you can find it. So here, the project description asks you to dump user profile from MongoDB in tab separate value form. So, but Mongo exports in CSV and JSON only, so we only accept the CSV file. So make sure you use CSV file to save your 50 users information. So, but if you decide to try and below routing to convert your CSV to TSV file, so we will gladly accept the TSV file too, but it's not necessary. So here, I think this AWK can help you to handle the CSV file. So you please read this introduction about this command carefully, and you will know why we use this command to handle different information. So, but I can show you a sample here. So this is a CSV sample file. It contains the first part contains the geo formatted data, and the second column contains the username. If you apply this AWK command into the TS2, this CSV file, you will get this result. So first, you see this format is acceptable for the HTML file. So when you apply this AWK in your terminal, when you use AWK to reformat the raw data, this CSV data, you will get this part of data, and you just need to copy paste this part into HTML file. Then the HTML file can help you to plot the user on the map. Also, you see here for different columns, they are separated by the tab value. So if you just use this awk command, you will got a tab separate format value about your 50 user information. Also, you can apply this command to your different kind of, not different kind of. This command can apply to a different, format. Like because you have to extract all fields for the 50 users. So you can use this command to reformat, to add a tab between different columns there. So here. So okay, so we can go check our HTML file. So some students have questions about the HTML file because because there are several ways to plot users on the map. So first, one way is using the geolocation coordinates. So here, if you just extract the coordinates from the dataset for different user, so you can use this format to show the user location on a map, just to use the coordinates there. But if we use the formatted address, so you can go down and find the proper HTML to handle the format information. So like this part. So it's up to your choice. But we encourage you to use but we think you could use this one or use the format address there. And there's no difference between geo coordinates and the format address. The Google API can handle all these two kinds of information and show the same plot on the map. So yeah, so about the deliverable. So for the project, so we encourage you to submit the 50 users profile with their own information, all columns, all fields there. So it means you have to submit this information, all information about these 50 users. And you have to submit a CSV file to show us these 50 users with their own information. So, so as I said in our Piazza, so if we decide to try the below routine to convert your CSV file to a TSV file, so we will glad to accept the TSV file too. So if we just you already submitted a TSV file into Canvas, I think that's fine. You don't need to change it. So, so some students have a question about, about this part, about this question. How many locations will you be able to validate, and what is the remaining number? So if you read the description carefully, you will know how to get this result. So here's a hint. So you can go to your last run log file, which contains a clear result about how many data cannot be updated and how many data have been updated. So you just go to your last log file and check the result. You will find the clear information about this question. So if you don't want to use the log file, you can go to your MongoShare, and you use query command to check how many data cannot be updated there. So that's what I want to say in this discussion. So if you have any questions, just post it on the chat, so I can help you to figure out what's happening there. Any questions?
So you said we could use either the longitude or the address. Either one doesn't matter?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay. And then if we get more than 50, it's fine, as long as it's not the whole database, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But just to show us the exact 50 users information.
So again, you want did you say exactly 50 or at least 50?
At least 50, but you can show a little bit more. It's fine, but don't show
Okay.
about 22,000 or 3,000.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So there's a question about this Mongo export command. So you should use this command on your terminal, not in Mongo shell, because Mongo shell cannot accept this Mongo export command on it. So just run this Mongo export on your regular terminal, not on the Mongo shell. And I think you cannot copy paste this command on your terminal because there's some typo when you try to copy and paste it on the terminal. So seems like you have to use your keyboard to type in this command on your terminal.
But you're okay if we use that same query, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
This is Beth. Hey, is anybody having issues with their export from MongoDB? So I take it that's a no, that nobody's having, okay, to export and saved it in bin?
No.
Cool. Oh, that you saved, Leonard, you saved your script in bin? Yes, okay. And then you're exporting onto MongoDB and saving it somewhere else as what, CSV? Yeah, okay. No, that seems like a good way to do it. And Angelica, you've had no problems. Have you tried the export command already? I cannot, Angelica, you're muted still.
No.
Hold on a minute.
There you go. So you are still muted.
Okay, there we go. How's that?
There you go, okay.
Yeah,
That's
so I've been able to export. I've done all the steps. I'm just working on writing it up. And I guess my one question with that last step was just understanding how many locations were you able to validate? There's a number that's processed, right? And then there's a number that actually found a geolocation. So you're actually looking for how many it was able to find the geolocation.
I would answer that. The typical way to handle that is to just constrain your answer and just qualify and say you found this many records in this condition and this many records in that condition.
Okay.
That's, yeah. So Rivka, are you, can you go to 3BI?
Yeah, so it's open to interpretations. I think you've answered it just right now.
And I think that's the right way to answer it, is to, yeah, it's to just to convey your understanding that there are these two different numbers.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no right answer for that, or?
Again, I mean, it's just a good way to think about things, is to be able to justify the number that you give.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if you were to put the number 25 down, it would still be better to justify that. You know, and I'm just pulling a number out of the air, but, you know, it's always good to justify your answer. So you're just doing that.
So as far as giving suggestions on how to resolve those that we're not able to resolve, so just kind of do some research to understand the Java code and the API.
For this question, so first you have to figure out why this data cannot update. And
Yeah.
then you have to find an idea how to update this data on your MongoDB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can look at the data and see why that it wasn't able to geolocate it, because honestly, sometimes it's just garbage in, garbage out. But how do I give a suggestion when a
Well-
user can put anything that they want for their location? They could put a string like "My mama loves you," or they could put a question mark, you know.
Yeah, and there may be more refinements within that space. And I think if you would study not if you would, but studying the profile, you may be able to come up with some set of rules that would lend a little more ability to resolve some of those and not others.
Okay.
Okay, so you, please go on. You?
Mhm.
Oh, no, please go on. I think we're good with this.
Oh, okay. Seems like it's almost so we're just waiting for students to post their questions on that.
Yeah, it seems like we settled them.
Yeah, just make sure everyone could check their data set. Make sure, because in our data set, if you finish running the project 4 times over 4 days, most of the data will take a different geolocation and formatted address. If you find all your data has the same formatted address or same geo coordinates, so you have to go back to step 2 to debug your CSV file to find out what's happening there, because there's some error in the CSV file.
Can you mute people?
Yeah, I have to mute. Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
So I think there's no other questions about the entire project. So students have any questions about TierStream, like they cannot start their instance or they cannot connect to their instance. So they have to try to restart the instance several times. And if the questions is still there, they have to report their issue to the JetStream team. And I think JetStream team can help you to redeploy the machine, and you can connect to the JetStream instance. Hi, Professor.
Yeah.
Can you make the same announcement? I mean, make the JetStream announcement to the student. I think they don't know that the JetStream will maintain tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I sure can. So give me a sense, if you would please give us a sense about where you are finished, or what percentage of completion you are with respect to the project. So if you are completely finished, if you're 100% finished, weigh in yes, or weigh in 100, or weigh in whatever. Or 80%, 60%, 40%. Weigh in your percentage. $100, okay, good. Bruce, 90, okay. That's 85, okay. All done except write-up. Angelica, good. Who haven't we heard from? Dirji, okay, so perhaps we can come and talk about that, Dirji, and find out what's going on. We heard from Leonard. Yeah, we heard from Leonard. Oh, no, Leonard, weigh in your, there we go, 100%. Okay. And Govi Kumar, please. Your percentage completion. Jessica, it doesn't look like we've heard. Oh, yeah, we've heard from you. No, yeah. Jessica, to do the project again. Ooh, okay. 50% Jessica, okay. Okay, so Jessica, you ran into problems. You had to do it again. How come you had to do your project again, Jessica? What did you run into?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Mm-hmm.
I started the query and update portion to do the geolocation, and I had done about maybe half or three quarters, and then for some reason, when I leave the instance, all the text that I put in would just stay there, and then when I go back into the instance, I wouldn't close it. So, I wouldn't end the session. So when I went back, all of my previous existing stuff was there. So I just run the query again and just change the log number, to like log, the 5th or the 5 or 6 or whatever. But when I went back in, it was all gone. And so then I typed the information again. And then for some reason it wouldn't work. And so I was frustrated. And then I tried to kind of backpedal, and it didn't work. And then I started deleting stuff, and then it really didn't work. And then I tried to just try to erase, I tried to make everything like it would be for the step before or whatever, to then try to go back again. And anyway, I started deleting the .sh files, to see if I redid the ./bin blah blah, if that would kind of save it. But it just said that there's no file or no directory and stuff, even though I could clearly see but this is before I deleted the .sh files. It would still say that there's no file or no directory. And then I gave up, and I started deleting the sh files, and then that didn't work. And then I did ask for help from you, and he did respond, but by then I had gotten so frustrated I just started over again. And there's not been any problems this time. But for me, for some reason, I don't know whether it's because I'm in Britain or not, but it takes longer than 24 hours for me to be able to launch a new query. I have to wait like a day and a half, so it's delaying me even more.
Oh, really? And this is a query against the Google services.
Yeah, I wait exactly 24 hours, if I did it at 5 p.m., I'd do it at 5 p.m. next day, and I'd only get 3 records updated. So then I have to wait another, 6, 7 hours, late at night I try again, and then it works. So I'm about, halfway there. I've done, about 6,000 queries. So it's still going to take me another 2 days to finish, with 3 days actually, with the delay I'm facing. And then I'll have to write up the report. So I'm kind of stressed.
Yeah. No, it sounds like there may be some throttling outside the country that's different than it is inside the country.
Yeah, so it might not be that good of a report. I'm sorry.
What's that?
I said the report might not be as good as I would want.
Well, but again, and what I want to tell you about the Exceed VMs is going to complicate things a bit. But you only need 50 of these to plot.
Yeah. So I'll start there, but I won't be able to finish, all of it until the last portion, the portion that requires all the data.
Yeah.
But I'll do the first part. You're right. I can do some of it now. I will start the plotting the 50 now that I have.
Right. And what I would do is, if you run into problems and it's Friday and you're not getting the 10,000 validated, I would state the number you were able to validate, the reason why you were only able to get as far as you were, and you've got an exceptional circumstance, so mention your location, and then answer the question within the context of the number you were able to push against Google.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Then it's completely clear why your numbers are going to be slightly different.
Okay.
But it'll allow you to submit. Yeah. Okay. So then the reason why I'm saying this is we got word today that the Exceed, and this is fairly standard for systems unless you're at Amazon or whatever and you've got tons of extra capacity. But Exceed does have a maintenance window. It's the first Tuesday of every month from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. So the VMs will be unavailable. Your VM, if your VM is running, it will stay running, but you will be unable to access it using your Atmosphere shell.
I see.
You will still be able to access it through SSH if you SSH from your desktop, but not through the Atmosphere shell via your web browser. If your VM is down, you're not going to be able to start it up. So
Yeah.
I would, so I would say, Jessica, I would say, bring your VM up if it's down right now and leave it up for the rest
Okay.
for the rest of the project.
Okay. I will do that.
Okay. And then, so this is an 8-hour maintenance window that starts tomorrow at 11 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time and ends at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time tomorrow on Tuesday.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So,
Jessica, I have a suggestion. If you may want to try this, I was able to suspend, this is Bruce, I was able to suspend my instance, restart it, get a new IP, and I was able to do all of my updates on the same day. All 10.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I will try that. I was trying to think about how I could pay. I was looking to pay, but I didn't know how much coding I would have to change, and I was terrified to even go down that path. So,
Yeah, so whenever I got a new IP, I would start the instance with a new IP, and it worked every time. So I did them all in, I did them all in an hour.
okay. I'm kind of scared to like redo the code though, because this is like the problem I faced last time when I swapped IP addresses. I don't know.
You won't have to redo any code. When you start with a new IP, it's like acting like it's a completely new.
It does. Yeah. So one way you could do that is to shut your VM down and bring it back up again, because it'll come up with a new IP address.
Okay.
But so are you running? Is your VM on TAC did you set up your VM on TAC?
Yes.
Okay, so I think that's a more reliable platform if you're going to play with taking your VM down and bringing it back up again. But yeah, you could try that. It is a little bit riskier because we've had trouble with not getting VMs restarted again.
Okay.
It'd be worth a try. You could try that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Bruce. Yeah, thank you for the suggestion.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So you were still going through the troubleshooting sheet. Can you pick that back up again?
So what part do you want me to show to student?
I'm good with you going through all of it.
Okay, so I will choose the important things here.
Okay.
So here, check the step 5, the part 5. So some students will make some error on the headline. They like to use double taps on between two columns. If they use double taps on the headline, they will got issue for the step 3. So I encourage the student to check the data set after they finish their query and update run. If they find their data set has the same information for their geolocation, it means they got some issue about their data set. It means they make some mistakes on the TSV file on the headline. So I think right now you could go to your MongoDB database, query the data set, and check the geolocation for the entire data set. If you find the entire data set has the same geolocation, so it means you have to go back to your step 2 to fix the error on the TSV file, and you have to redo the step 2 and step 3. So, and the part 6, the mention 6. So, in our TSV file, in our raw data set, there are only 10,000 documents in it. So if you use import.mongo script to import dataset into the MongoDB, there should be 10,000 records in it. If you got different number, less than or equal, larger than the 10,000 records there, it means you still have some problem about step 2. You have to go back to step 2 and to fix the issue there. So here about part 8. So when you finish running the query and update in one time, so it will generate a log file that could save the running information. So if this log file is empty, or this log file contains such information, the log file contains this information, but the processed data document is less than 25 or is less than 3,000 document. So you have to rerun the command, rerun the query and update the command to get your daily limitation. Like you have to, so every day you could, every day you have the 2500 limitation to update the geo coordinates, geolocation. Yeah, I think that's the important thing on this troubleshooting here. So the limitation request is more than, sometimes it's more than 2500. It's, I mean, the limitation should be almost 3000. So if you get more than 2500, don't worry about that. So yeah, I think that's all. So yeah. So about this Mongo export, don't copy paste it. You have to type in by yourself, because when you copy paste it, there's some error on it. So like there's some empty space or some different scenario there. So just type in there by yourself. So if you want to learn how to use AWK, go to this link. Yeah, go to the AWK link. This AWK link, this AWK command in this link is very basic one. So I just develop it for one situation, for one case, for one situation. So you have to modify this AWK command and to fit for your format data. I think that's the easiest one. So let's go to our AWK. So here, just read this description about the parameter in this command, and you could modify this part to fit for your format. So we can see this sample. So like this sample introduces about, first column introduces about the formatted areas, this last column introduces about the username. So if I use this AWK command, like here, so the data will be reformatted to this tab separated, and we put different situation and put different symbols here, and we add a quotation for this username. So just modify this. If you use different, if you use a different formatting file, so you have to modify it. And I think you can get the reformat data. And you just need to copy this reformat data, paste it into your HTML file. Then the HTML file can help you to plot user information. To plot the user on a map. So make sure you submit a CSV file to us. That CSV file contains 50 users' profile with their information. And if you already published the TSV file, that's fine. We can accept it. But if you haven't submitted, please use the CSV file to submit your 50 users' information. So one student have a question about the question 1. Here, let's go back to question 1. 3B, we asked to provide a solution for slope which we are not storing. I found that the sort data we constantly say will not for. So is it Yes, I think that's one idea to do that. So yes. So actually, some students have questions about this part. So I mentioned in our troubleshooting and solution hint, you can check your last log file to check the result to find this information. Also, you can use query in your Mongo shell to check the result. And at the end, you have give some suggestions for solving this situation that you can, why this number you cannot update it. So it's open questions. There's no, 100% correct answer there. So just search it and read, and also read the description carefully so you can have some ideas about how to answer this question here. Also for the 3B2, so it's very open questions. You just Google it or just go to step 2, step 3 to figure out to find some other way to improve the performance for this entire project. So, so for this part, you have to tell us, so it's okay for you to tell us why the record was not updated, but you still have to find out a way to solve this issue.
Hey, View, it's Govil. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, my question is more like, right, I understand that, we are considering the data from the Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I found like based on querying the Mongo or getting into the log file, which got created for executing the process, there were few records which were not updated for the geocode. And I clearly saw that, it's why it is happening. So is the expectation that we, while we are responding back to the question, we have to put, okay, this is the reason why it happened, and then provide a necessary, like this, by changing it in such a way would help us resolve it. Is that the only thing which is expected for out of the question?
Sorry, can you say again? I don't hear clearly about that. Your question, sorry. Can you say again? Sorry, I didn't hear clearly about your question.
Okay, so based on, can you hear me now? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so based on the deliverable here, I understood that we are supposed to provide why those few records are not getting updated. That part I am clear about, but the next part, like suggestions, like how we can have those bad records successfully updated at the end of the process. So with respect to that, do we have to say that it's fine to update the source data which we are considering here for the analysis?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think there are two parts about this question. First, you have to explain why this data cannot be updated. Then give some idea to update this to solve these questions. So yeah, it's up to a choice. That's a very open question.
Are there any other questions on the project? Any problems, except for the one that we talked about with Jessica? Are there any other problems with potential problems with making a deadline on Friday? Seems like people are in really good shape. Okay. Let me just tell you briefly where we're at in the course. Oh, wait, hold on. We've got a question from Chris. So let's resolve Chris's question, then I'll come back. So you, if I could turn back to you. I don't have access to registrants. Okay, so Chris, how come you don't have access to your IU instance?
Well, when I attempt to restart it, it fails with error 504. It seems to be the error that is very common to everyone else with an Indiana University provider instance. So I got an early start. I gathered all my data. I gathered all my information about Mongo queries, and I was ready to run them and extract my data. But I didn't realize that I had to start all over.
We bring up an instance at TAC. Are you?
Well, if I bring up a new instance on TAC, I have to start over and from square one, and I have to wait 24 hours to gather my data between queries and so forth. And I've only got 4 days to complete the assignment.
So, so here again, you can try what Bruce mentioned with if you're on a TAC VM, which will stop and start more reliably. But you could stop it and bring it back up. It'll pick up a new IP address, and that will allow you to reconnect to Google as a new instance, so Google will accept that. That is one way to get more than the 2,600 of these profiles resolved in a day. If you run into that as a problem, I would suggest the same thing I suggested to Jessica, that you do as many as you can. And then on Friday, when it comes to submitting your project and you're asked how many locations were you able to validate, you describe what you encountered. You give a bit of narrative about what you're just saying here so that we have that. And then you give the number of locations you were able to, the number you were able to resolve and the number that had valid geolocations and so on, within that context of how many you were able to resolve.
Thank you.
Okay. And Govi Kumar, I would say that is a good approach to answering part 2 of 3B. So we won't take that one any further, but it's thinking along the right line. Okay, so the where we're at with the course. The lesson for this week was fault tolerance in distributed computing. It is a self-evaluation, so the expectation is, as you would answer questions in the back of the book and then check your answers, these self-reflections are intended to get you to think about the content and engage in the content in a proactive way, and then check yourself against the answer that we provide in the self-reflection. I encourage you to do that because multiple forms of engagement with the content are shown to be effective as a pedagogical tool. We will have one more graded assignment, and that will be actually assigned tomorrow or tonight, and that is on a section on consistency and distributed NoSQL stores. There's a nice article by Vern Vogels, who is with Amazon, that appeared in the ACM, Association for Computing Machinery. It's a nice article written at a nice level. I think you'll find it approachable, especially after all we've learned. That will be a graded assignment. And then after that, we've got one more project. And that project will either be, and right now it's looking like you'll have a choice, it will either be to up the number of tweets you put in your database and then do a performance evaluation. We'll provide some material on how one goes about thinking about a performance evaluation, or a written report. It's looking like it'll be one or the other. And for students who are more technically oriented, they could take on the performance evaluation. Those that are not necessarily comfortable there could take on the report. But that will be, again, the second project. Right now it's slated to be handed out on the 15th of November. And those will be the only remaining 2 deliverables for the course. So it will just be the assignment number 6 for this unit 10, and then the project. And the other units, of which we'll have 4 more, 11, 12, 14, and 15, will be self-reflection. So that's what it looks like now between now and the end of the semester. So are there any questions at all on that?
So quick question on the second project. So you're saying we'll get to choose, or you guys are deciding whether it's the...
We haven't defined it yet, but it's looking like we will let you choose, just because we've got a breadth of students in this class that we want to be responsive to, and we don't want, we just want to be responsive to the breadth.
And there's no difference in evaluation, whichever one you choose?
No, it would be your choice.
Yep, okay. Thank you.
There was somebody else that had a question?
I was wondering whether you'll offer any type of bonus points or bonus projects, or only because, like, with my assignments, I wasn't able to get full credit on, I don't know if anyone got full credit on all of them, but I guess I was just, it's hard, like, looking back on the grades. Like, it says, I would get points docked off on one question saying that there wasn't enough detail, but I didn't know how much detail. I know this topic has come up in Piazza already, but it's like, with the open-ended questions we had, I didn't know how much effort I was supposed to put in, and I thought I had answered the question, to an appropriate level or whatever. But anyway, is there any possibility for any, bonus points or bonus projects or anything like that?
So let me think about that. There may be some way we could put something on that project. Let me think. Let me just take note on that. We are dropping the lowest grade, the lowest assignment grade. So that there is that. But let me just think about that. And this is Jessica?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Any other observations? Questions?
This is Leonard. There's one of the assignments that I submitted the wrong paper. I think I was supposed to do 1.2 and I did 2.0. Is there a way that I can redo that?
Let me see. We've had a case or two of that. And I believe we have allowed a resubmission, but there would be a penalty against it.
Okay.
Let's talk about that offline. Without a penalty, it's just, it's, again, it's kind of a difficult situation.
Thank you.
So yeah, let's take it offline and talk about it there. Are there any other questions? Do you have anything else you need to go over?
No, that's all.
Okay. Well, I think, we're over anyway. So thank you all very much.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.